weeks has passed, and now we're at the 4th season of Doctor Who. The 4th season of Doctor Who ran from, I wrote down on my computer here to remember, the 10th of September 1966 up until the 1st of July 1967. It contained 43 episodes, out of which 33 are missing, which makes it the season with the most missing episodes during the entire black and white era. During the entire series, to be precise too. 10 episodes exist, in other words. There are no complete stories in this season. There are some almost complete ones, but no ones that are exactly complete. The 4th season starts off with William Hartnell's penultimate story, The Smugglers, which all 4 episodes are missing of. But you remember this one, the Lost in Time box set. Here we have some clips actually from the episodes, because in Australia, which was a place where the episodes were shown back in the day, the censor board censored some clips, and those clips exist on this box. So that's Story 28, everything that exists from The Smugglers. Next up, we have William Hartnell's last story, The 10th Planet. The 10th Planet features the introduction of the Cybermen. For those who know about the Cybermen in the current series, these Cybermen doesn't come from some factory or something like Cybus Industries. They come from a planet which is a twin planet of the Earth. Basically it's the Earth upside down, and it's called Mondas. And in this story we are missing episode 4, which is pretty sad because it's William Hartnell's last episode. But fortunately the regeneration scene still exists, which means we still have the regeneration from William Hartnell into Patrick Troughton. However, that last episode has been animated in an animated reconstruction, and also has an official Snap reconstruction. So here we have it, The 10th Planet on DVD. Yeah. Also it has an interview with William Hartnell, which was made a few weeks after he had left Doctor Who, and it's a 3-minute interview, and it's really rare because it's basically the only film interview which exists about him talking about Doctor Who. Pretty nice stuff. Is there anything else interesting on this one? I'm just gonna read on the backside here. No. Nothing that really stands out. Well, of course there are interesting stuff on this DVD, but nothing that really stands out besides that exclusive interview. And there you have it. The regeneration of Hartnell. So let's drink out the last of his life essence. And change this mug into the Patrick Troughton one. I don't like this mug as much as I love my William Hartnell mug, because, well, this one looks less like Patrick Troughton than William Hartnell mug looked like William Hartnell as the Doctor, of course. Yeah, now we have entered the second Doctor's era. And it started with story number 30, The Power of the Daleks, which doesn't exist in any form, except some small clips saved by a show called Blue Peter, because they were shown in the program Blue Peter. Actually, I think that Peter Purves hosted an episode where it was aired. Peter Purves, as you know, played, now I forgot his name, Steven Taylor. I shouldn't forget his name. Steven Taylor was my favorite companion from the first Doctor era. Okay, so we have Ben and Polly traveling along with the second Doctor in Power of the Daleks. which also is an episode where the Doctor has a really, really long hat. You have maybe seen pictures of it. Next up we have The Highlanders, which has the introduction of Jamie McCrimmon. Now I actually said a D there. It's not a D, it's McCrimmon, not McCrimmon, for those who wondered. Yeah, so Jamie is introduced in The Highlanders. He had a way different accent in that one because he wasn't supposed to go along with the TARDIS gang from the beginning. It ended up in the last episode. So his accent became less Scottish along the way. And that's story number 30, The Highlanders. Then we have The Underwater Menace, story number 32. 4 episodes, out of which episode 2 and 3 exists. Now, right now, The Underwater Menace doesn't exist on DVD. Episode 2 hasn't actually been officially released. It has been leaked onto the internet, so it exists on the internet. I'm not gonna link it because it's all to places that are illegal. But episode 3 did exist when the Lost in Time box set was released, so, well, it exists right there. And, well, The Underwater Menace has a scheduled release sometime, hopefully later this year. They have said, previously they said on, I think it was on a DVD version of The Web of Fear, which is a later story in Patrick Troughton's era, that there was a trailer for The Underwater Menace and it should be released in 2014. It wasn't. But maybe now in 2015 they hope to get it released with animated reconstructions of episode 1 and 4. Let's move on now to the Moonbase. The Moonbase consisted of 4 episodes. Episode 1 and 3 are missing, but they were animated, which means there is a DVD version. And also, this is the last DVD version for this season. So there only consists 3 DVDs for this season. The Lost in Time box set, 10th Planet, and the Moonbase. So the Moonbase is a Cyberman story. The second Doctor's first encounter with the Cybermen, because I don't count as he didn't encounter the Cybermen in the 10th Planet, because the second Doctor was just shown and then the episode was over, so I don't count him as encountering the Cybermen back then. So the first story with the Cyberman meeting the second Doctor. And it's story 33, by the way. Let's move on. Story 34, the Macra Terror. Now the Macra actually made reappearance in... I just forgot the name of the episode. I think it was called Gridlock. If it wasn't called Gridlock, it says the right title right on myself right here. Yeah. And, well, the Macra returned in that episode with Martha Jones. And, well, these were their first appearance. And story 34 has no existing episodes, it was a 4-parter. Yeah. A lot of 4-parter this season. I'm not sure if I mentioned, by the way, that The Power of the Daleks was a 6-parter, so I mentioned that right now. Let's move on then to story number... Highlanders was a 4-parter too, if I forgot that. Story number 35, The Faceless Ones, which is... I'm just gonna take a sip here. I really love these mugs. Which is the last story containing Ben and Polly. What's interesting also about this story is that it takes place on the exact same date as the War Machines in last season when Ben and Polly were introduced. That's why they left the series, because well, they landed on the same day as they left, so they thought it was a good day to leave the Doctor. But we still had Jamie traveling along with the Doctor. The Faceless Ones, episode 1 and 3 exists, of course, on the Lost in Time. Lastly, we have The Evil of the Daleks, which has the introduction of the new companion, Victoria Waterfield. On the Lost in Time, we have episode 2 of The Evil of the Daleks, which is story 36, a 7-parter, and, well, only story number 2 exists. Yeah. Wow, I made it in 10 minutes, which is pretty good, because these are usually a lot longer, but it was because everything was missing, so... Well, it's not gonna take 10 minutes, because now I'm gonna do my usual run through. So, The Smugglers, Lost in Time, story number 28. 29, The 10th Planet, right there. 30, Power of the Daleks. 31, The Highlanders. 32, The Underwater Menace. All those 3 on the Lost in Time. Story number 33, The Moonbase, right here with animated reconstructions of story 2 and 4. Yeah, I know, story 2 and 4. Episode 2 and 4 exists, it's 1. And, no, I need to check here again. Yeah, it's 1 and 3 that are animated. This one, and episode 4 is animated on the 10th Planet. Let's get back to this now. Okay, after the Moonbase. Story number 35, Macro Terror, right there. Story number 36, no, 35, 34, the Macro Terror, there. 35, the Faceless Ones, right there. And lastly, 36, Evil of the Daleks, right there. That's it for the season, missing way too many episodes. And I'll see you when we're gonna encounter the 5th season of Doctor Who in the next episode, which comes out in a fortnight. To be precise, let's see if I know the date. Since this is recorded before the actual date, I'm not sure right now. But since it was the 28th, 14th, yeah, it's the 28th. It comes out the 28th of March. See you then. Adios.